The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Luna's shocking return ignites explosive family drama. Bill Spencer's controversial decision to shelter Luna Nozawa, following her dramatic rescue, has created a powder keg of conflict that threatens to tear multiple families apart. The October 3rd episode of The Bold and the Beautiful delivers jaw-dropping revelations that will leave viewers reeling as the consequences of Luna's supposed death and miraculous return begin to unfold across Los Angeles. The Spencer family crisis deepens. Bill Spencer finds himself at the center of a moral and ethical firestorm after making the stunning choice to keep Luna at his estate rather than immediately contacting authorities. This decision represents a significant departure from Bill's usual adherence to family loyalty above all else, particularly given the serious criminal charges Luna faces. The young woman's arrest for multiple murders and her subsequent escape from custody should have made Bill's course of action clear. Yet his paternal instincts and desire to protect his son Will appear to have clouded his judgment. The situation becomes exponentially more complicated with the revelation that Luna may be carrying Will's child. This pregnancy claim transforms what might have been a straightforward criminal matter into an intensely personal family crisis. Bill's decision to wait for paternity test results before taking further action demonstrates his internal conflict between being a law-abiding citizen and protecting his youngest son from potential scandal and emotional devastation. Katie Logan serves as the messenger delivering this explosive information to Brooke and Ridge at Forrester Creations. Her position as both Will's mother and someone intimately connected to the Spencer family gives her unique insight into the gravity of the situation. Katie's update includes the shocking details of Lee Finnegan's rescue operation, Luna's calculated targeting of an intoxicated Will Spencer, and the alleged pregnancy that has thrown everyone's lives into chaos. Lee Finnegan's desperate gambit unravels. Lee Finnegan's actions in rescuing Luna from prison and faking her death represent one of the most audacious storylines in recent B&B history. As a respected physician, Lee risked her medical license, her reputation, and her freedom to save her niece. Her motivations stemmed from a complex mixture of family loyalty, guilt over Luna's troubled upbringing, and perhaps a misguided belief that she could rehabilitate the young woman outside the legal system. The decision to stage Luna's disappearance required meticulous planning and deception. Lee would have needed to manipulate medical records, coordinate with potentially corrupt officials, and maintain the charade while Luna remained hidden. This elaborate scheme showcases the lengths Lee will go to protect family members, even those who have committed heinous crimes. However, Luna's subsequent action, specifically her calculated seduction of Will Spencer while he was in a vulnerable, intoxicated state, represent the ultimate betrayal of Lee's sacrifice. The aunt who risked everything now faces the horrifying realization that her niece remains manipulative and dangerous. Lee's physical confrontation with Luna at the Spencer estate stems from this crushing disappointment and the recognition that her efforts may have enabled further harm. Ridge and Brooke's righteous fury. When Katie reveals Bill's decision to harbor Luna, Ridge and Brooke's reaction promises to be explosive. Both characters have strong moral compasses and extensive experience with the consequences of protecting criminals, even family members. Ridge particularly understands the danger Luna poses, given that his daughter Steffi was one of Luna's intended victims during her crime spree. Brooke's perspective adds another layer to the conflict. As someone who has made questionable decisions in the past to protect those she loves, she may understand Bill's motivations on some level. However, the severity of Luna's crimes, including multiple murders, and now the alleged manipulation of Will, crosses lines that even Brooke cannot rationalize. Her anger stems not only from Bill's poor judgment, but also from concern for Katie and Will, whom she views as extended family. Ridge's fury will likely be even more intense. His protective instincts regarding Steffi, combined with his tendency toward black and white thinking in matters of justice, makes Bill's decision to shelter Luna incomprehensible. The fact that Luna attempted to harm his daughter elevates this beyond a philosophical disagreement about criminal justice to a deeply personal affront. The couple's threat to contact authorities themselves creates a fascinating ethical dilemma. While reporting Luna's whereabouts would be the legally and morally correct action, doing so would effectively betray Bill and potentially destroy their long-standing friendship. This conflict between loyalty to friends and adherence to justice represents classic soap opera drama that explores the gray areas of human relationships. Steffi's right to know. One of the most compelling arguments Ridge and Brooke can make concerns Steffi's right to know about Luna's survival. As one of Luna's primary targets, Steffi has been living with the trauma of nearly becoming a murder victim. The belief that her would-be killer had died in custody likely provided some measure of closure and peace. Learning that Luna not only survived, but has been living freely under Bill's protection will reopen psychological wounds that had just begun to heal. Steffi's potential reaction to this news promises explosive confrontations in upcoming episodes. Her fury at Bill for endangering her family, her renewed fear for her children's safety, and her demand for justice will create ripple effects throughout the Forrester and Spencer families. The revelation may also strain her relationship with Finn, given his mother's role in Luna's escape. The pregnancy controversy and paternity questions. The central question of whether Luna truly carries Will's child adds a layer of complexity that extends beyond simple criminal prosecution. If the paternity test confirms Will as the father, the Spencer family faces an impossible situation. Can they allow a convicted murderer to remain free simply because she's pregnant with their grandchild? What rights would Luna have regarding the child? How would they prevent her from using the pregnancy as leverage to avoid prosecution? Will's emotional state throughout this crisis deserves particular attention. As a young man who believed he was developing feelings for someone genuine, learning that Luna deliberately targeted him while intoxicated represents a profound violation. The possibility that this manipulation resulted in pregnancy compounds his trauma. Will's devastation and anger are entirely justified, yet he may also feel trapped by societal expectations about taking responsibility for a child. Electra Forrester's presence in Will's life adds another dimension to the story. Their budding relationship now faces an obstacle that would challenge any couple. Electra's feelings about potentially being involved with someone who has an ex-girlfriend and particularly one as dangerous as Luna carrying his child will test her maturity and commitment. The devastation both young people experience underscores how Luna's actions create collateral damage across multiple families. Luna's delusions and dangerous obsession. Perhaps the most disturbing aspect of this storyline involves Luna's apparent belief that she can create a happy family with Will and their potential child. This delusion reveals the depth of her psychological instability. After committing multiple murders and facing serious prison time, Luna somehow envisions a scenario where Will forgives her manipulation, embraces fatherhood under these circumstances, and builds a life with her. This fantasy demonstrates Luna's complete disconnect from reality and suggests she may be more psychologically damaged than previous storylines indicated. Her inability to recognize that Will's anger is permanent and justified, combined with her continued attempts to manipulate the situation to her advantage, makes her an ongoing threat to everyone around her. The legal and ethical quagmire. Bill's decision to shelter Luna creates significant legal exposure for himself. Harboring a fugitive, obstruction of justice, and potentially accessory after-the-fact charges could apply depending on California law. As a prominent businessman with extensive legal resources, Bill surely understands these risks, yet he chooses to take them anyway. This decision speaks to the powerful pull of family loyalty and his desire to control the situation before it spirals completely out of his grasp. The ethical considerations extend beyond Bill's personal legal jeopardy. By keeping Luna's survival secret, he denies justice to her victims' families and allows a dangerous criminal to remain free. His rationalization point for paternity results provides a thin veneer of justification for actions that most would consider indefensible. Implications for future storylines. This explosive situation sets up multiple potential storyline directions. Will authorities eventually discover Bill's deception, leading to his arrest? Will Lee face prosecution for her role in Luna's escape? How will the various families navigate the possibility of a child born into such troubled circumstances? Can Luna find genuine redemption, or will her psychological issues prove insurmountable? The October 3rd episode promises to deliver the emotional intensity and moral complexity that the bold and the beautiful fans expect. As secrets emerge and confrontations escalate, viewers will witness characters forced to choose between competing loyalties, navigate impossible ethical dilemmas, and face consequences that will reshape family dynamics for months to come. The storyline also explores timeless themes about the limits of family loyalty, the nature of justice versus mercy, and whether people who commit terrible acts deserve second chances under any circumstances. These questions lack easy answers, making the drama all the more compelling as characters we've come to know wrestle with decisions that will define who they are at their core.